For you as an artist, what does it feel like to be growing older?
Yeah, I must say I find it very interesting. In a way, I find on a personal level, because with me as an artist, I'm like, yeah, I'm an artist, but I'm not only an artist. So for me, it's always intertwined with other levels of being, like, like being Dutch, being an immigrant, being a person of a lower class family, being my own little whatever that center is, my relationship with people, encounters, all kind of things. So I find aging very, very interesting in a sense that, but okay, let's try to focus it on art. That I How do I say that? I find it interesting to see that there are prejudice, and especially in, like, of course, in the theater and the film world, and that's also judgmental on my side, but when you generalize it, you will see that the older, especially a woman, let's speak gender specific here, gets, the less important and interesting the roles are. Like, very often you're the grandma or the mother, or very often you're a good person. It's nice to be a good person. I try that on a personal level, but it's like, come on, isn't Lady Macbeth a wonderful part, right?
Yeah.
It's like, because it's so complex, right? But I do think that things are changing a little bit lately. I do think that this ageism thing is, amongst other things, in transition. So that is very good. But yeah, I kind of, that's a kind of a battle, also kind of internal battle, that I think, well, I'm not young. So that means that I'm radical in a softer way. I'm still radical, but much softer than when I was younger. And I do recognize that when I'm with younger artists, because I do a lot of things with younger artists, which is really wonderful. Younger artists reach out to me, which is really wonderful. And I guess that's because of my wild side and my not very domesticated side. But I also see that there is a softness now growing in me, that I think, like, wow, that's interesting that is happening now. And that is also happening basically kind of in my art, that during the years, I work a lot of the times in my performances interactive. I really try to break a little bit this kind of distance between an artist and the spectator or the participants. I really try to make a kind of soft environment without being a granola hippie, although I love granola hippies. But yeah, no, come on, no, but just to forget a little bit, like, the last 2 years I was working, for instance, on a series performances that was called "You Are the Performance," and my goal in those performances was actually to make a very safe environment where people basically at some point were making the performance and I could leave. And actually, one time I did leave, and the people were still limbo dancing under their quotes. I let them first write quotes about art, because I introduced quotes about art made by quite famous artists. And of course, that was a selection, that was a selection. Like, but for instance, I got, like, tous les grands artistes sont des amateurs by Eric Satie. I love that quote. That's so great. Like, that breaks the ice immediately. People think, oh, what's that? And then I think, yeah, but the word amateur, it's actually a very honorable name. So I like to work with that nowadays. And I think that maybe 30 years ago, I was much more radical and much more polarized about things. And now I'm now this kind of container of memories and experiences. And there's still memories to build and experiences to be lived. Don't get me wrong, my life is not over, far from that. But I do realize that I already seen a lot, and I've already lived a lot, and that I've already worked a lot, and that feeds my practice actually at this moment.